All right, Yo fans, we're back with another episode of the Steel Show here live from Mesquite Creek in downtown Caldwell. An awesome spot. We're so happy to have, to be here, have the owner hosting us and be out in the community in Caldwell. And, Coach, it's been since, some years now since we've done a live show for the coaches show, so it's fun to get back out in the community. But, the first thing I wanted to ask you before we jump into the game, obviously you came to C of I in 2013 and, the town looked different, the downtown looked different then, and I want to let you comment on kind of the reemergence of downtown Caldwell in conjunction with bringing the program back and how that's all been throughout the city of Caldwell.
Well, it's just super exciting. I mean, everything that's happened in Caldwell, this wasn't really here, or it was here, but it was not a good look.
Yeah.
And, so everything, just the whole change, and I'll credit the mayor at the time, Mayor Nancolis, and the rodeo guys, Marv Henberg, the president at C of I. They kind of had a vision for things that were going to happen, and it was super exciting for everybody. I think that football was coming back, and I was of a mind from my time at UC Davis that I just believe in college football. I believe in what it can do for a community if it's done right. You get 120 great guys. They can affect the community in a big way.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing that even with guys like you who are graduated, who are in the community and doing things. Boise Valley, certainly, but again, I think it was the vision and then seeing that come to fruition is incredible. So this is a new establishment, but there's 4 or 5 new places.
Yep.
There's 10 or 15 places that are doing just fine. Indian Creek Steakhouse across the street. I mean, it really is exciting. I do like to think that Yotes football had something to do with it. Just the overall energy and enthusiasm and the community and our Go Purple group and now the quarterback club and all these things, as well as the college is a great place. It's a unique place, and I think I like to think we're making it more unique. It's just special. So I couldn't be more proud of all the people that have played such a big part in it, all the administrators and faculty at C of I, the community, from the police to the school system to the fire department. The rodeo, of course, has been big all the way. So it's just very, very satisfying. That you can get in a community and then you have something real and vibrant, and it's
something to have more and more pride in, right? And C of I Athletics continues to make that ascent as well as the entire city, right? And so you continue to grow in pride in the community.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you get in communities like this that are self-contained. There is a certain pride that almost feels like the Midwest almost in a certain sense. Smallish town, but my wife Kathy and I have just loved getting to know the people in Caldwell who are just so proud of Caldwell and what's happening in Caldwell. And that brings a smile to my face. So I think it's great. And then to see the fans out on Saturdays at football games is special.
It's the best.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And jumping into that game, Coach, obviously a wild back and forth game, exactly what you'd expect from a rivalry game. I mean, it is a situation where you could throw out the record books. Eastern Oregon coming off of a bye week. They've been playing everybody tough. So it kind of had the recipe for them to show up and give you guys a run for their money, which is exactly what they did, right? And you guys are able to come out on top. But just talk about the emotions of the game and assess your team's performance and certainly how proud you were ultimately to come out on top there.
Yeah, like you said, the records don't mean anything, and I think when you played, we were behind, and they were
top 10 team.
Yeah, top 10 team.
Yep.
And we were 3-6 or something, and we go in and beat them.
Yep.
And, so we know that, and we talked about their coaching staff and how good and solid they are. They're coming off a bye week, so we knew it would be difficult. I think they got us on the run a little bit more than I thought they would. Their offense against our defense, so that was disappointing a little bit. But I was proud of the way the guys offensively, we just did what we had to do. Continually drove the ball, but we did get a couple good stops. I mean, we talked in our team meeting today about Big Sam Lowings, a freshman from Half Moon Bay, California, 6'6", blocks the field goal. We were covered on the 1 yard line, but then we go 99 yards. And then we had one turnover. Andy got stripped. The ball's on the ground. He's tackled. 3 guys are from East Oregon are running. And the Bozeman Bullet, we call Jace Appleby. I mean, he
big time effort play.
Tackles them. We hold them to a field goal there. So you never know what's going to happen. Then again, the defense I don't think is happy with their performance. And we talked a lot, me with the defensive staff, and we have some concerns, but there's always things to fix. But down the stretch, they had the ball. They converted a big 4th and 16, which was always disappointing. But these guys are good. They're going to make good plays.
Yep.
And then they went after Chip a couple times. So you should ask Chip about that. Or you can ask him later. But he was right on.
Yeah.
Complete composure, ran with them, physical enough, and which is dicey sometimes, where you can get a pass interference call, but they let him play. I thought it was a great no call the last play of the game. And
it was just like you said, to your point, it was a great job just not panicking in that situation, because it's I think people don't give credit to how truly hard it is playing corner specifically, deep ball situation, end of the game. They're driving to go win it on you, and to not get overly antsy and stick your hand in there and try to make too much of a play, right?
Correct. And we've kind of addressed that. There's something about playing on the so-called the biggest stage that we play on, but it's a meaningful game on the line, the most clutch period of the game. And can you keep your composure in that sitting when things haven't gone perfectly your way? So that's kind of the nature of our team. I mean, I think, and Garrett, Rayberg is on record saying, we just believe that we can score when we need to, when we get the ball, and that's a great confidence. Now that doesn't come without a lot of hard work and getting things right. So we got a few things to clean up this week on the defensive side. Offensively, I think so the same. And but I love our team. I love their attitude. I think they appreciate where we are, how hard we work to get here and to play in a championship game, against Southern Oregon.
Absolutely. And one of the plays I wanted to ask you about Eastern Oregon game is, and I asked the players, but I go back to that 3rd and 2 situation, after we had punted a couple times to start the second half, and we're down 24-21, and they're able to finally stuff the Eastern Oregon run and get another punt. How big is that play to just kind of keep you guys in it? Because at that point, it was after the Andy fumble, and they had just a lot of momentum, right? And that's a situation where they go down and score to make it 31-21. Now, you can start to get in a little bit of a tight situation there, but you get a big stop there, are able to take the lead and try to take some control back. So how big was that play?
It was big, because we were able to stay right with them and usually be a little bit ahead. Not that they didn't eke ahead, but they pulled ahead by 3 a couple times. But all those stops are good. You go back and see in a college football game, just that every snap matters, every series matters, and that's what's beautiful about the game. It happened all over the country. We were talking about the Oklahoma-Kansas game. Oklahoma undefeated. They're getting ready to go to the Final Four, and Kansas beats them. Tip ball, intercept. Anything can happen. Hail Marys every week. Your guy, I think your favorite coach, Mario Cristobal at the University of Miami. Could have kneeled down and won the game. Doesn't. Next play, fumble. Georgia Tech. That was weeks ago, but anything can happen. It's just so crazy. So same thing, Eastern Oregon, College of Idaho. So we're well aware of that it's a fine line, and it's a fragile thing, confidence, and being able to win a game, when the chips are down.
And it seems like your team does a good job of that play the next play mentality, right? And
Absolutely.
It's easy, it's a cliche, and it's easy to say a lot, but it's true. The teams who really can short-term memory, make the next play, lock into your assignment for the next play. If you can do that consistently,
execute at a high level in the most pressure-packed time. But that's what it's all about. That's what competitive sports is all about. College football is all about, and so that really is a lot of fun. So we try to coach that way, but it's still the makeup of the guys and the belief within the team. So anyway, and I just believe it's not my team. It's not the coach's team, it's our team, even the community's in there, so we love that. I think you were also on that team where I think we lost 3 out of 5 at home or something like that, and we determined the next year, this is never going to happen again. So for us to win 6 straight games at home was just awesome, and some big games on a walk-off, Hail Mary and Eastern Oregon, back and forth, so Rocky Mountain, we were down 21-3, so it's been a good run, and we're just thrilled to be where we are and have a chance to play Southern Oregon next week.
Yes, sir. And another guy, I think I'd be remiss to not mention, and John Schofield obviously getting a lot of the publicity just with his, the touchdown numbers, right? Leading the country, as he should. Phenomenal player and playing so well for you guys in so many different aspects, right? But obviously huge game from Broch Richardson. he was really an X factor in that game. They had a really hard time, tackling him and staying in front of him. So, and a guy that just, battled some adversity throughout his career, some injuries, but has shown his toughness to stay in there and keep making plays for you guys here down the stretch. So how awesome was it to see him have a big game like that?
Yeah. Broch you're talking about,
Yep.
right? Yeah, Broch has been phenomenal. So he's had an injury. He barely practices because he's had this bone bruise, and so hats off to our training staff and Leon Ladeau and for managing that. I mean, he literally doesn't practice Tuesday, practices Wednesday, doesn't do anything Thursday, does a little bit Thursday, then nothing on Friday.
Yeah.
And he's just gotten better and better. So he's back to his, but yeah, the last drive, the last play, Andy I thought did a great job getting rid of the ball quickly.
Yep.
Low ball.
Yep.
Broch isn't very tall.
Yeah.
But he caught it and broke the tackle, and you just kind of knew it was going to happen. He's hard to tackle.
Yeah.
So he and Schofield are incredible. I mean, they're
fantastic.
the X factors. So,
Yeah.
And then Krebs is starting to play great too. And then we got a good supporting cast that come in and
Absolutely.
do some blocking and come up with some timely catches. But Broch is the difference maker. He allows us to call the game a little bit different.
Yes, sir.
And Schofield is just incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
People talk about the Wildcat, but he's having a great year at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
A great year. I mean, he caught a couple. The one quick post he caught in traffic. I mean, Andy fitted in there, and then he's like shoving guys off and then running.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
See, there's something about the toughness of a team, and we have some guys, and Broch is tough in his own way. Andy's tough in his own way. The line is physical. That's the nature of who I want us to be. But John Schofield is
He likes to get after it.
tough guy.
Yep.
But he just loves the game.
Yep.
Not unlike one guy from our era, Justin Hellier.
Yeah.
It's just very similar. Just loves to practice, loves to play, loves everything about it. And then he's great on the Wildcat, but he's a good receiver and can run. He's fast, so he ran away from some guys. So anyway, he's just a pleasure to have on the team. So that's part of coaching too, is how do you utilize all these parts and weapons, and we probably have more than we ever have.
Yeah.
So it's really, really great. But Broch and John are just having fantastic years, and that they're both healthy and ready to go at this stage of the season is really great for us.
Yes, sir. And wrapping that one up, like I said, huge win, and sometimes at this late in the season rivalry game, it's a little bit of a survive in advance attitude, and you get the W at the end of the day, and you move right along. And so, just real quick, I know you guys are going into the bye week this week, but you do have Southern Oregon coming up for really the conference championship. If we can get that one done, the Yotes will be outright champs. And Southern, again, like Eastern, improved this year, playing everyone tough, looked really good the last month, played Carroll right down to the wire last week. And so, what do you see from them early? What do you remember about them before the season? What kind of challenge do you expect there?
Yeah, I just looked at our last game with them, and frankly, we didn't know exactly what they were going to do because they have a new coaching staff. But they're somewhat similar. We kind of knew what they were going to do, but it will help us to have film and that empirical data, as we like to say, where we can see what they look like.
Especially this late in the year, you are who you are kind of thing.
Exactly. But they are really good on defense. I mean, they might be the best defense in the league. I don't know where they are statistically, and I know I probably said the same thing about Carroll College.
They're up there, though.
And Eastern, but they're different. They're more traditional style defense, even front, play cover 4, mostly zone. They're going to make you throw the ball underneath and tackle you. And they're fast and physical. They got 2 great DNs, and they're just going to be good. They're going to be formidable these next number of years. But they're very, very good on defense. I'm shocked that they've lost as many games.
Yeah.
But you look at their games and they've lost.
Yep.
They had Western beat. They had Carroll almost beat. Anyway, and they it's a tough conference.
It's a razor's edge in the frontier, and that's the thing is, you guys have been able to come out on top in a number of those situations this year, and they have, and that's a lot of times just going to be the difference, right? So,
and then on offense, they're, our old friend Greg Stewart is down there, and I think he's going to be he's an experienced offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So they'll be good. They know us, and we'll know them a little bit better. So I think it'll be a great game. So I mean, it's no pushover, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, this is maybe the toughest matchup that we've had all year in terms of just the way they match up with the game. Because the game score doesn't seem like it, but it was a close game.
Yeah, really tight in the half.
28-16 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
21-16 late in the third.
Yep.
So, and then we got a couple turnovers and touchdowns, and so they're good. I have a lot of respect for their coach, Burt Brown, who was there in the glory years as the DC, the years they won the national championship. So they got goals. They know what they're shooting for. So I have a lot of respect for Southern's program.
Absolutely. Well, Yo fans, we're going to have some players coming up next, and we appreciate you guys tuning in again. We're live from Mesquite Creek here at Indian Creek Plaza in downtown Caldwell. Make sure you guys come check this place out. The owner, Brad's been gracious enough to have us this week, and we just appreciate him and his hospitality. And Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Broch.
All right, Yo fans, we're back here at Mesquite Creek with a few of our stud football players here. Chip Mitchell, Andy Peters, Garrett Rayber, coming off of a huge W against Eastern Oregon in the rivalry game. Battle I-84, as everyone saw, that game was nail-biter back and forth. And so, Andy, I'll start with you. Obviously, crazy game, and offense needs to keep answering in the second half to stay with Eastern Oregon. And I guess I'll just jump to the end of the game. Over the last 4 or 5 years, C of I has always been able to come up with a big drive when you need it, and you guys get another one this week. So, how are you guys able to just get in there and execute under the pressure situation so well?
Yeah, I think we do a really good job of being able to kind of tune out the pressure and just know what we need to do. They hadn't really been able to stop us all day, and kind of we're in the flow at that point in the game. So it was just another drive to us. Obviously, there's a little bit more on the line, but like I said, we do a good job of tuning out that pressure and just going and executing.
Absolutely. And another one for you, Andy. Obviously, this has been in a lot of ways a pass-first offense this year, but historically C of I has been such a great running team. And I thought against Eastern Oregon, early in the game, Alomar and Hunter and yourself were able to establish the run, and even in the second half, Hunter and Alomar break some big ones to keep drives alive. So what was it like to kind of see that run game kind of reemerge this last week and be really effective?
It's always exciting. I always joke with Alomar and Hunter each week. I'm like, a little bit of help,
Yeah.
Just messing with them, obviously, because those guys are awesome. But no, it's always so much fun to see your teammates succeed, and especially great guys like that.
Absolutely. And Chip, I'll go over to you on the defensive side. It was a tougher ball game. You guys are coming off of a few great performances, and Eastern Oregon was able to kind of get some things on you. But so what do you think Eastern Oregon was doing so well that was kind of making it tough on you guys, throughout that game?
Yeah, so they just had a good scheme coming into the game. Like we mentioned earlier, they were coming off a bye week, so they had extra time to prepare for this game. A lot of it was just fitting runs, stuff like that, things we need to get fixed, but it's all stuff we can get handled.
Yeah, correctable, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I'll say is obviously I think there was 2 situations in the game where the defense really came up huge. Obviously, at the end of the game to win it, but there was a 3rd and 2 there in that third quarter when, we had punted a couple times and they had a 3-point lead and, needed the defense to give us another opportunity. You guys are able to come up with a big stop on the run. So what was it like there to at least, come up with a huge stop and try to build a little bit of confidence for the rest of that game?
It was great. That series really helped us out, just being able to build confidence so everybody knew that we could trust each other, lean on each other, and we were just going to be there to get the job done when we needed to.
Absolutely. And, Garrett, onto you, on your side, O-line's been so productive this year, both in the run and pass game, and, another really great game. And obviously, I think fans, see Andy having, a big year, and some of the receivers, and Schofield and Richardson are the running backs, but ultimately it's the O-line that's always going to make it go, right? And with such a productive offense this year, obviously the O-line has played so well. So what have you seen from you guys? Why do you guys keep playing well out there?
I think it's just the bond between us and the camaraderie we have as a whole offense. I mean, especially when you got this guy with the ball every play. I mean, it always gives us a shot late in games, throughout games. I mean, but returning guys, myself, 2 fifth-year guys, Ryan Halford, and we've had a lot of young guys step up as well.
Absolutely. And, I'll ask you guys are heading into a bye week. It's a little bit rare to get a bye week this late in the season, but, as a veteran guy and someone who plays in the trenches, right, where it's not easy to stay healthy, how do you approach a bye week as a veteran guy, as a veteran college football player? Because obviously so much different than high school and what the physical part of the game requires,
Yeah, I mean, it's huge to get a bye this late in the season. We're putting ourselves in a great spot heading into playoffs. Huge mentally and huge physically as well. I mean, we got a lot of guys banged up. Keegan Croteau, I know Chip's got a knee. A lot of guys, so just being smart, taking reps off when we need to, but it's a huge mental week for us prepping going into Southern Oregon.
Absolutely. And Andy, for you guys on offense, where do you feel like it's that one area that you'd like to see you guys take another step here even late in the season heading into the Southern game or hopefully the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of look at the film today, and something that we kind of want to focus on is tightening down our RPO reads. I think BT said 3 of 5 of our touchdowns were on RPO reads this past weekend, but I feel like we could have had even more yards throwing or even more touchdowns. We would have just tightened a few things down. So I feel like kind of stepping into that area and just clean up a few of those reads will be good to go.
Absolutely. And Chip, what about you guys on defense? You guys are heading down to a back stretch here, and obviously it's going to be so big. Southern Oregon's strong offensive team. And then, like I said, hopefully heading into the playoffs, we're going to be seeing good offensive teams. So what are you guys looking at really improving?
Yeah, no doubt they're going to be a good team. We really talked about going back and focusing on fundamentals this week, on little things we maybe have been not thinking about as much lately, but just getting back to the basics and just getting things fixed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, fans, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Steel Show. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate Mesquite Creek for having us so much, and we'll see you next week.